Learn to recognize and combat the enemies of potential. The scriptures are filled with examples of Satan's work. Moses' mother and sister relied on God's power to save him from death when Moses' life was threatened by the Pharaoh of Egypt's decree that all Hebrew boys should be killed at birth. After his mother had hidden him for 3 months, she could hide him no longer. So she put him in a basket and placed it among the reeds in the Nile River. His sister then watched from a distance to see what would happen to him. When Pharaoh's daughter found him and took pity on him, Moses' sister bought her mother to care for him. Thus, Moses was saved from Pharaoh's murderous plan, living right in Pharaoh's house. Is that not a dichotomy and a paradox? That's God. Joseph was but a youth when his brothers plotted to kill him. After they had sold him into slavery instead of killing him, Joseph endured many hardships that could have prevented his potential from being unveiled and exercised. First, he was falsely accused of seducing his master's wife and was therefore thrown into prison. Then, he was forgotten by those he helped. Still, Joseph remained faithful to God and continued to trust him. He didn't allow the enemies of discouragement, opposition, and the negative opinions of others to destroy the dreams God had given him. After many years, Joseph was placed in a position of great prominence because he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. Thus, his potential to interpret dreams and to manage wisely were effectively used, and his purpose to preserve his father Jacob's family in the midst of a severe famine was fulfilled. So, here's the deal. Expect Satan's attack. No matter what you do, you will always have critics. Oftentimes, people they can't bear to see others succeed. And this really is an important topic for us to just kind of hit on real quickly, because so many of us, again, we get thrown off by people that we have expectations are in our corner. And then when it seems like they're fighting us because we're doing good, we're trying to do the right thing, we have pure heart as far as we know. I know the word says the heart is deceitfully wicked. Who can know it? But for as much as you know, you're on your way to doing the best that you can do for God. And for just being a good person. That ain't about being deep. Just being a good person. But then you've got your critics. In this 21st century, they're called haters. Drinking lots of haterade. How about that? But it seems like when you're not doing anything, it's not a problem for them. They're cool and copacetic. They're laughing with you, taking you out to lunch and all that. No problem. But the day that you make choice and decide, I got to do what's in my heart to do, becomes a problem. So what's really going on is you're now beginning to attract attention. All right? People don't care about you until you start doing something big. Let that be a word to the wise. Should it stop you from ever getting out of the gate and doing something big? Heck no. What it should do, though, is encourage you even the more to go forward, to do it. Because now people are watching, they're opposing, and Satan never opposes anything that's not a threat to him. So again, as long as you were just living your own life, doing your own thing, peaceful, copacetic, Satan didn't bother you. Those haters didn't bother you. As soon as you decide, I need to do something more, that's when they come out of the woodwork. But that's a clear sign that you're on the right path, because you're about to do something great. Satan's intimidated by it. People are now watching, saying, oh, wait up now. They might pass me up. Believe it or not, people think that way, and they govern themselves along those lines of thinking, of making sure that you don't excel beyond them. We'll talk about that a little bit more, because when we're talking about destiny and unearthing the treasure that's on the inside of you, you have to be aware of what's happening around you, what these barriers are that Satan will, and again, you're not wrestling against flesh and blood. These are powers and principalities that have been in the earth realm long before you were ever thought of, that have been assigned to stop and halt you from reaching your destiny and your potential. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute.